the head of sales, Africa and Europe, segment, to do a short presentation as we get ready for our next plenary session. Karibu.
Good morning, everybody. Really grateful to be here. I've come a long way from the UK. So it's been a crazy sort of 24, 48 hours. This is my first time in Mombasa, so I'm really excited to show you what we can do. We've only got sort of 7 or 8 minutes, and I really want to just get a quick illustration and a bit of an update as to who we are. So my name is Leon. I'm head of sales. We're part of a much larger, wider group called the Five of Them, Bomag and Dynapack, Marinese, Scarab. So we're one of the businesses within there. We're my business in France. I'm actually based in England and the UK. My roles and responsibility is Africa, Central Asia and Middle East, so it's quite a geographical area. We've just moved into Africa in terms of selling machines, so we sold machines into South Africa and to neighbouring Uganda, and our plan is with our partners Achilles to look at areas in Nairobi and Mombasa. We also represent from a global business. We're present in 125 countries. Turnover sales of 41 million euros, and 22% of that is service. So we're very key on how we do with service. Our range of products, which I'm sure you're all aware of, and I'm pretty certain the machines are present in Kenya and certainly east of Africa. But as you can see there, we've got sprays and chip sealers, and microsurfacing, melters, chip spreaders, patches. We've now moved into electrical vehicles and also storage units for emulsion and bitumen. Emulsion sprays is a huge part of what we do in terms of manufacturing and building. Everything we do is manufactured in France, and then we ship over to the countries that we deal with. This is our TAC multi-service unit. So essentially, we can design bespoke any machine, 15, 18, 26, 32-ton chassis. The makeup of you, so how big you want the tank. This machine has 7,000 litres of emulsion or bitumen. It has 2,000 litres of water, 2,000 litres of fuel, and 1,000 litres of AdBlue. The reason why we've designed and built this machine is because certainly in Europe, we don't want to have loads and loads of different plants, loads of different fleets, loads of different equipment on the network. So this machine allows you to use rollers, compaction plates, and you can actually draw material from this machine. This is a quick video of the sprays. All the sprays are operated inside the cab, so it's a one-person gang. So instead of having 3 or 4 different people on the machine, we only have one. On these machines we have 360 cameras, we have 4.8 telescopic spray bars, so it can do the full width of the road. All the material and every road and every network you're on is data captured, so we'll give you air temperature, ground temperature, square meter rate, the volume of material. It'll give you a GPS location map, so you can tell exactly where that location of that individual defect or where we've surface stress is done. All this information will then be sent back to you, and then you can distribute that to your client, so you get real-time understanding exactly what you're spending on these equipment. Just waiting for that to unfreeze. So this is just a quick, I'm not going to tell you engineers exactly what this looks like, more qualified than me. But essentially, it's all about waterproofing that road, enhancing the life of the network, and making sure the general public are not punished for sort of misuse of the roads. One of our surface pressing machines, what we call a chip sealer. You've got 2 variations. You've got the chip sealer, which is a conveyor belt, or you've got the chip sealer, which is the tip of the body. It's all 4.8 telescopic spreader and telescopic spray bar. Again, everything's done within the car. This is essentially used to surface dress over the road. Again, this is a quick video of the chip sales kit. This is a network in Europe and France. A machine, it machines on a 26-ton chassis. It has a 12 cubic meter hopper. It has 8,000 litres of bitumen emulsion. Spray rate and the spray rate is set by the individual in the car inside the machine. Everything's done remotely inside the car. So as soon as you operate the machine, he sets the parameters, he sets the spray and the spread rate, and then essentially he drives accordingly. Spray rate depending on what size road you have, or the air temperature or the ground temperature. We're very conscious of temperatures in the UK and Europe, very different to what it is in Africa and the US and Australia, so the material will be made accordingly. This road will be open to traffic onto the public within 35 to 40 minutes. All of our machines are built with an additive spray bar, so as soon as you lay the material, an additional additive spray bar, which is a setting agent essentially, will break the time from usual 2 or 3 hours, 45, sorry, from 30 to 45 minutes. Inside the car, you can manipulate the width of the spray bar or the spreader. Don't use for full width, 4 meters or 4.4 or 4.8. And everything's done telescopically inside the car. If you want to reduce that to the width of the chassis to 2 meters or 2.2, you can do. If you're just operating down the driver's side or the passenger side, you can bring it inside the left hand side, and the right hand side can open up. You can manipulate exactly where the brake. Very fast piece of equipment. This machine in France empties within 2.5 hours. Conscious of time, just to show you some more video. So this is a machine that we've just sold in Uganda. This machine's been in Uganda for 8 months, and we've just received an order for an additional 4 machines. This is a green Swift machine. We try to maximize what this machine can do. So it's not just at all used an independent chip spreader and also used as a spray. So the functionality of this machine is essentially you will go down the road. If we pick a road, let's say Mombasa Road, and you fill each individual defect with a front mounted boom, which is a pothole. Once that's done, you turn the machine round and you open the spreader and the sprayer and you surface dress over all of your defects. So instead of having 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of equipment, this machine allows you to do it all individually. It's done internally inside the car. No need to have additional car. Everything's done remotely inside. The individual will draw a line, a sweat, a grid over the defect, so there's no waste of material. It's a 4-stage process. First stage is you blow all of the ingress water, stones, debris. Second stage is the aggregate supported at the same time. And then the fourth stage will be compact. This defect will then be open to the traffic for 5 hours. The truck will move aside and the general traffic will mitigate. I just wanted to illustrate in terms of the capacity and the cost. So we've done some analysis inside the business. So as you can see, the cost of a traditional defect with 2, 3, 4-man gang is $70. With the Green Swift, same volume, it's $6. If you look at the time, the average for a traditional defect is around 90 minutes, and that's with a gang of 3 or 4 people. And with the Green Swift machine, which you've just seen, 1-man operation, it's 90 seconds. I'm pushing for time, so I just want to show you the last video. Real problems inside of all major networks. This is a real good tool for urban and rural areas. Only good for any planning, we have manufactured inside of France. We're inside the booth. If anybody would like to come and ask any more questions or get any more videos or information, please do so. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
He's around for a little. Interested, kindly reach out to him. I hope you allow us to share your presentation. Yes, with the members? Okay. So we move on to the next session, plenary session 1. And we are going to cut the time. We must cover 2 sessions before we break for lunch. I want to invite the moderator of the session, Engineer Jabongo, to come. And as he comes, allow me to just introduce the session. Karibu Engineer Gabriel Jabongo. I want to invite to the stage Engineer Kefa Seda, who is the Director General, PPP Unit at the National Treasury, who is standing in for the PS, Dr. Chris Kipto, who is the PS, the National Treasury and Planning. We have Engineer Daniel Cherono. Karibu. And we have Nagidu, Executive Office of the President on Blue Economy. Okay.
My name is from KPA.
Can I get a chair so that the moderator can come and sit here?
I'm sure they will do something.
Kindly remember to post your questions on the app. Kindly remember to post your question app. We will have roaming mics. Karibu Engineer.
Thank you very much, Engineer Grace. We have our panelists here. And I'll go time just to my questions. The first one will go to Engineer Kefa Seda. From a treasury perspective, how central is the blue economy to achieving Kenya's Vision 2030 and better agenda. Okay. I'll repeat that question again. From a treasury perspective, how central is the blue economy to achieving Kenya's Vision 2030 and better agenda?
Water and most of the inland water bodies, which are also part of the blue economy. As it stands today, blue economy contributes 2.5 to 8% of our GDP. We've got countries today who are generating nearly 50% of their GDP from the blue economy, like Venezuela, a country like Thailand, generating 30% of their GDP. What is it that we need to do differently as a result of the fiscal challenges that we have? And more so when you look at our balance of trade. Export and import of our exports is much lower than our imports. And this is primarily because of cost of goods, our economic. One, to look at the ports or maritime related activities to be integrated as part of the value chains that we have, which includes roads and railway networks. And therefore, first thing that we need to do is to enhance port efficiency. And as we speak today, we are looking at a number of assets at the port where we want to see how we can upgrade them. As it stands today, we have five. It was between 1929, 19, also have berth 7 to 10, which was between 1943 and 1953. And yet we want to be competitive. So this is some of the road network that is
cheese, because you looking at the nutrition of the people. All those home. So we've been the officials. So I'm told, good news, the curriculum has been approved. But guess what? Those trades you're giving us, because they've not done TOT, they've not done, another academic process. And we're telling them, the people in our sector, the people who are qualified to teach, are those people who are actually doing the job. So the Kenyans who are on board when they come on holiday, they are qualified to whom that care for. My dear engineers,
Thank you.
they were not, they serve people, not the other way around. So we need to be innovative. We need to throw away the box and come up with the solutions that serve us as Kenya.
Thank you very much. And that one is a challenge to the Engineers Board of Kenya. You look at this career progression of the maritime engineers, and maybe a meeting down, you could probably come up with something which is agreeable to all of us. Nancy has quite a number of issues. I say economy across the board. We could probably start some early childhood education on blue economy, and we can also sensitize parliamentarians on blue economy. And of course, she finished by that progression on marine engineering. Thank you very much for that. Now I'll go to my next to Engineer Daniel Cherono. Cherono is Director, Planning and Research and Compliance at Kenya National Highways Authority. Blue economy, Kenya's depend heavily on seamless connectivity between inland production zones and maritime gateways. What specific highway ports integration priorities must be fast-tracked to reduce logistical cost and improve efficiency? Engineer Cherono.
Thank you very much, and good morning to all this afternoon. It's good afternoon. So thank you very much. Earlier on, in your engine mentioned that remains the backbone of the economy in the country. During tea time, I minded it. The backbone remains the road infrastructure. And I'm saying this because for you to have a true value for the blue economy, the value of that economy is only unlocked if goods move seamlessly from the ports to the inland. And over the past, I think our country has done significant amount of work in the ports. But then that translates on the road infrastructure. Because what comes out of the ports needs to be moved inland for it to make economic value. Kenya has developed the second port in the recent past. This is the Lamu port. Structure very so we are looking at the Lapset corridor that would unlock the potential of the Lamu port. And as we have this conversation today, a significant length of that corridor is under construction. The section between Lamu going towards Garissa to Isiolo, then it branches into Ethiopia, and you have the link going to Sudan, and that remains a very, very priority in order to unlock Lamu port. You may recall that in the recent past, the geopolitical events that took place in the Middle East actually brought Lamu at the limelight, because we are receiving some significant call from some big ships, and that activity requires to be able to move on that. If you look at the road section between Mombasa going all the way to Nairobi and joining the East African region, time has been a bottleneck to increase, and as for unlock real value for the blue economy that emanates from the port of Mombasa, there is actually need to ensure that that corridor is expanded to be able to meet the current capacity. I'm happy that I'm sitting with my colleague from the National Treasury, Engineer Seda, and I know the National Treasury has been working very closely, trying to facilitate the development of that corridor and expanding it in order to have a high capacity, maybe a dual carriageway, because it's a road that is long overdue. Within the Mombasa area, the Kenya National Highways Authority has done quite some work. As you drive to this hotel in the morning, I know you are inconvenienced a bit because of a lot of construction work that are happening on that corridor, and this is taking place under the Bagamoyo, Horohoro, Lunga corridor that joins us with our sister or our neighboring country in Tanzania. And we hope once that is unlocked, then even the tourism around this area, which has started because economy within the coastal area, will significantly improve because of that. Of course, we must remember that the Kenya National Highway of trying to fast track the implementation of Lake Victoria, and that is also another frontier. The Lake Victoria is a natural resource within our region, and unlocking the potential would require significant improvement, especially the areas around the Lake Victoria roads. A lot of decongestion has been done within within Mombasa city. Many of you would remember that a few years ago, it was very difficult to go through the Changamwe interchange. And now we have some work which has been done on that corridor. And with all these infrastructure projects, and including the priority projects that I have mentioned, then we can truly unlock the value for the blue economy. Without the roads, you cannot get out of the port. So it must be seamless. I must also mention that the standard gauge railway that came it has really helped to move cargo from the port into integrating all these modes of transport, and the roads providing the last mile also becomes very to move cargo along the port, along the railway. Eventually you need to do the last mile, and has now that SGR is moving all the way to Kimu, but you still need to feed other towns and other cities along on different sides along the railway lines, so that you provide that last.
Thank you very much. Engineer Cherono has told us that the road infrastructure works by the blue economy, because without evacuating goods from the port to the interland, to the problem. He mentioned about the Lapset corridor, which is going to unlock the Lamu port. The work is still going on. And he talks about the funding, which is being looked, and also lastly he talked about the SGR, which is also assisting on evacuation of goods from the port. Now, my next question will go to, it's not actually question as such. Yeah, Nyaga asks what they think about the port. There is blue economy in relation to the port of Mombasa, and you can give us the report from the captain.
Okay, thank you very much. Uh, Once again, I'm presenting as the Managing Director of the Kenya Ports Authority. We have had a lot of expansion. One of them is to commence in terms of construction. to support blue
me. Then they called me, and I said, they may have decided to make me an engineer. And therefore, I'll be looking for my certificate when I'm finished. But it's okay, I'll be sure that I've prepared. In line with the theme of this conference, asking ourselves, particularly, what is it called? With the policies that we have, Vision 2030, and better how we are doing to interpret that. And I'm waiting for good, if you can, and how we can do, how better we do it. My presentation told the blueprint for prosperity in the economy. Where are my slides? Blue, it means that we are restricting ourselves to such a small area on which to build prosperity, create jobs, and develop as a country. So that's where the work is. Accept and concentrate. This our liquid state is for plastic carbon. That's it. Thank you. So that we can begin to make sense of what we own and not just be preoccupied too much with the land spaces. We can create another 31 out of that includes Lake Turkana that we've been talking about, Lake Victoria. All that gives us opportunities to create jobs and that puts it in perspective. Now, most important, and what I want to emphasize, we are part of the global. Only 23% of countries are able to trade with each other. The rest have to produce everything. We import from where there are economies of scale, and echoing the pieces. We don't have to produce even the in our the market last is to open up the Africa if we do it properly, but just doing the port but not doing the hinterland connectivity. Even when we talk of CTA, it won't work. To look at it from national level. So what the ocean needs? Let me ask questions. What's the difference? I don't know whether he's qualified or whether he's ready for, but he was going to be only one in Kenya. Because when our institutions need architects to design, retrofit, repair ships in line with technical conditions of IMO, you need a naval architect. They have to get from outside. Yet we've got a whole population of 56 million people, 65 of who are young people looking for opportunities. Why don't we open these new areas for them to start innovations, right? Offshore system. The world of collected properly and all by some okay. Electrification, information, we know to or we know we must stop when ships there is an electric source, because you know what that does. I mean, the greenhouse gas emissions that the ships produce through their fuel, what it does to cities like more. Circular economy that makes sure that we waste as little as possible and we lengthen the time that equipment or other implements are used, so that we don't just hydrographic and bathymetric surveys. By the way, this is a safety issue. Right now, it's under the blue economy. New given us a name. I mean, they will come for us. And tell you what is coming. Decarbonizing the shipping industry. We've been told by 2050 to at zero, greenhouse gas emissions, which means we need the infrastructure, we need to produce the energy, and guess what? We are rich. It's just that we have not used it. As a continent, we've got sunniest countries in the world, which means we have solar energy at scale unimaginable. We've got hydropower, and we've got the young people to work with this technology. So the question for Kenya's engineers, are you ready? Will you build us the economy, the blue economy that we need? Or shall we be maintenance people for those built elsewhere? That's my challenge.
And they put in the conference meeting. Now, the question, I'll take 3 questions. Anybody who has a question, and then you can direct it to a particular panelist. So three questions only. If you have the mic, you can take it around. Anybody with a question?
Thank you very much, panelists. All of you, we found it very rich. And I must congratulate EPK for coming up with this set of high caliber people. You are actually educating us. Some of us are here for the first time. The very projects that are happening all over the country, such as mine is not a question, but it's just an observation that Madam Kargizu, EPK is not that bad. You know, when you don't have the information, you might make the wrong conclusion. And the way recognition of all the internationally recognized programs, including marine engineering, my brothers here, that once the board got the provisional signature of the Washington Accord, means that when someone comes back, whether you are a Kenyan or you are a foreign program recognition, they have no option but to accept that person on their register. So the previous experience may have happened, have had the framework of knowing which degrees, and we have, unfortunately, also people have gone abroad and done courses that cannot be placed anywhere. If you ask those institutions whether this program has recognition in the place where they have done it, sometimes you don't know. And I must congratulate our initial marine engineer that ensure that everyone going abroad, you do. Thank you.
I'm Daniel Moniru. I'm a marine engineer. I sail with Hanashi.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So, anyone, and we are parents, we have a lot of people studying abroad. Please ensure that your child, you're going abroad, does a program that has international recognition. The standard now we are trying to work to is Washington. All engineering programs that have that recognition, we in Kenya, and I know EPK because Madam Refco is there, but when EPK got the provisional status, they were actually in Mexico, the reader with them. And there was this that the board gets on this so that most engineering processes, when they go abroad, they don't have to resit the exams, they don't have to be re-examined. verse also, when these people who have done those programs, coming them.
Okay, make it
Thank
short.
you.
Thank you very much. That's it, Jibanga. Yes, thank you very well. Now, the next part, tell us your name, and then you can ask the question. You can also direct to a specific.
Yes, hello. My name is Michael Velez. I was born in the U.S., but I've become a permanent resident of Kenya. And I just question about the industry because, you know, currently China and South Korea produce the most chips in the world. South Korea is facing a demographic collapse, and you know, we talk about the demographic dividend here in Africa. Zimbabwe is currently the most iron ore resources, and cost steel is
looking at building, then what are you going to use? And I think sustainable material for the ships.
Thank you very much. I'll allow those questions to be answered by our panelists. And Nancy, you seem to be getting most of them. I'll give you the first chance.
The freshly minted engineer here with you. Now, very interesting question you asked about education. I think the main problem we have is not understanding each other and therefore coming up with joint solutions. I think like the issue you raised about not being able to train engineers. I remember having a long conversation with SIDAC when I said before I was proposing, can we introduce early ocean education? Is we have to have a task that said kids are overworked, we can't introduce another subject. But that's not the point I was making. If you look at, and the proposal I made was, can we introduce subjects in the courses we are already doing? For example, math. Maths is a subject that every school teaches. But there are components of maritime you can introduce in maths that the children learn early. Fix the same. So we don't have to have, or rather, dedicated examinable subject. Just let them know what they need to learn at basic level, and therefore the interest they can have. And I brought a very good example of a curriculum they run in high school. Because when you look at South African seafarers, you will find somebody who came from what mountain, and you are, how did you learn about shipping? You're not from the sea. And it's from the secondary school curriculum. That's how they learned about it, and therefore they were interested to pursue it because they were exposed at a very early age. So it's a question of regulations we made long ago. It must fit this anymore. We need to be innovative in the way we find our solutions and not have things that block us in moving from point A to point B just because they are the law. Laws were made to serve man. In which other into the rules we come up with. So why are we asking marine engineer masters the way be near talent of a master?
The marine industry, they are going to prepare some good paper which can be presented with detail so that we can look at the structure and maybe they'll form a small committee.
We need EPK to be our partners with, you know, bringing these issues up.
But the EPK must know that you are for them to know you are there so that they can follow that particular. Thank you very much. Now, the next question I'll direct it to Engineer Nyaga. What is he doing in maintaining and repair and which materials are they using the ships? That's the question from here.
Okay,
that